A tragic beginning. The girl and the torture. In a remote part of the Galactic Empire, deep within the confines of a high-security prison, a young human girl named Emily was subjected to horrific torture. The Empire sought to extract information about Earth's defenses, believing that humans were weak and easy to break. Emily, however, proved them wrong. She endured the pain with a resilience that left her captors frustrated and enraged. Despite their relentless efforts, she revealed nothing. Her final moments were marked by defiance. With her last breath, she whispered a message meant for her brother, Caleb Perry, a soldier in the human resistance. "Don't let them win," she said, her voice barely audible. The news of her death reached Caleb like a dagger to the heart. The Galactic Empire had made a grave mistake, and Caleb vowed to make them pay. The message: Caleb Perry, fueled by a mix of grief and fury, rallied the human resistance. They sent a chilling message to the Emperor of the Galactic Empire: "We are coming for you." The simplicity of the message belied the ferocity behind it. The humans were not just angry, they were out for blood. The death of one of their own would not go unanswered. In a dimly lit room on a remote space station, two battle-hardened mercenaries, Fenris and Ziak, sat nursing their drinks. The atmosphere was tense as news of the human resistance's message spread. Ziak turned to his old friend, concern etched on his face. "What's eating you, Fenris?" Fenris leaned in close, his voice low. "Remember that human girl the Empire captured? They tortured her to death. Now the humans are coming for revenge." Ziak's eyes widened. "If the humans make good on that threat, it'll be all-out war. Billions will die." Fenris nodded grimly. "I don't blame them. If someone tortured my little girl to death, I'd burn the whole damn galaxy down." The human response. Caleb Perry's mission. Caleb Perry was not an ordinary soldier. Trained in the harshest conditions, he was a force to be reckoned with. The Galactic Empire would soon learn this the hard way. Caleb assembled a team of elite fighters, each with their own reason to fight, each driven by the memory of Emily's sacrifice. Their mission was simple: infiltrate the Empire's defenses, strike at the heart of their power, and bring the Emperor to his knees. The first target was a high-security prison moon where Emily had been held. Caleb led the charge, his determination unwavering. The prison moon was heavily fortified, but Caleb and his team moved with precision. They cut through the guards, dismantled the automated defenses, and stormed the warden's office. Caleb's rage was palpable as he confronted the warden, demanding answers. The warden, terrified, confessed to Emily's torture and death. Caleb's response was swift and brutal. He made an example of the warden, sending a clear message to the Empire. The humans were not to be underestimated. The Empire's dilemma. News of the prison moon's fall reached the Emperor quickly. He was livid, but also fearful. The humans had proven themselves more formidable than he had anticipated. He summoned his top advisors, demanding a plan to crush the resistance once and for all. Meanwhile, in the seedy tavern, Fenris and Ziak continued their conversation. "Did you hear about Caleb Perry?" Fenris asked. Ziak nodded. "Yeah, one man taking down an entire prison moon. It's impossible." "That's what the Empire thought too," Fenris said. "But the evidence is clear." Perry tore through the facility like a one-man army. Guards, automated defenses, it didn't matter. He cut through them all. Ziak took a long pull from his drink. "How is that even possible?" Fenris leaned in, his voice grave. "The humans are different. Stronger, faster, more resilient. And when they're truly angry, there's no stopping them." The infiltration. The human fleet. Caleb knew that the prison moon was just the beginning. To bring down the Empire, they needed to hit them where it hurt the most. He rallied the resistance, and soon a fleet of human ships was ready for battle. The fleet was small but packed with advanced technology and driven by sheer determination. Their target was the Empire's home planet, where the Emperor resided. The plan was risky, but Caleb was confident. They would warp into the heart of the Empire's defenses, take the Emperor by surprise, and force him to surrender. The human fleet warped into the heart of the Empire's space, bypassing all defenses. The Empire's fleet scrambled to respond, but the humans were prepared. They held their position, shields up, not firing a single shot. The Empire's fleet unleashed everything they had, but the human shields held. In the seedy tavern, Fenris and Zek continued to discuss the unfolding events. The human ships just sat there, not firing a single shot, Fenris said. Zayak's eyes widened. What? How is that possible? No one knows, Fenris replied. But after the Empire's fleet was spent, the human ships started moving. They combined into a massive colossus, like nothing anyone had ever seen. Zayak leaned forward, hanging on every word. And then what? It spoke, Fenris said, his voice barely a whisper. It broadcast a single word on every frequency in every language. Surrender. The confrontation. Caleb Perry's ultimatum. The Emperor, seeing the combined human colossus, knew he was outmatched. Caleb Perry's ultimatum was clear. Release all human prisoners and surrender, or face annihilation. The Emperor, arrogant and unrepentant, refused to back down. Caleb boarded the Emperor's flagship alone. It was a bold move, but he was determined to end this once and for all. The flagship's internal surveillance systems went dark as Caleb made his way to the Emperor's chambers. The crew, terrified, abandoned ship in escape pods. Fenris recounted the story to Zak. The Emperor refused to surrender. Caleb boarded the flagship alone. Zayak shook his head. That's suicide. You'd think so, Fenris said. But this is Caleb Perry we're talking about. The man who single-handedly decimated the Empire's most elite legion. He had a personal score to settle. The Emperor's fate. What happened next remained a mystery. The flagship was left drifting, powered down, with no sign of the Emperor or Caleb. Days later, when the Empire mustered the courage to board the ship, they found it empty. The crew was alive, but the Emperor was gone, his fate unknown. Zayak's mind reeled at the implications. If the humans could infiltrate the Empire's system so easily, what chance does the rest of the galaxy stand? Fenris leaned in close. The humans are not just another species to be conquered. They're something else entirely. The Emperor should have thought twice before crossing them. The Alliance. The aftermath. With the Emperor's disappearance, the Galactic Empire was thrown into chaos. The humans, having made their point, withdrew their fleet. But they left a message. Run. It was a warning to the remaining Imperial forces that any further aggression would be met with swift and brutal retaliation. In the ensuing power vacuum, a new leader emerged. Zara, the Emperor's daughter, had always been different, more compassionate, more questioning of the Empire's cruelty. She saw the destruction her father had wrought and decided it was time for change. Fenris continued his tale. Zara couldn't stand by any longer. She knew the Empire's cruelty had to end. Zayak leaned back. So what happened when Perry and Zara's forces boarded the ship? It was chaos, Fenris said. The Emperor's loyalists fought viciously, but they were caught off guard. Perry and Zara cut through them, reaching the Emperor's chambers. The new order. A new beginning. Zara and Perry's forces confronted the Emperor. What transpired in that room remained a secret, but when they emerged, the Emperor was a broken man. His reign was over, and a new era began. Zara took the throne, not as an empress, but as a leader committed to justice and unity. Her first act was to reach out to the humans, forging an alliance based on mutual respect and a shared commitment to justice. The humans, led by Perry, worked alongside the new Vuxare government to dismantle the old systems of oppression and create a new order. Zayak marveled at the turn of events, an alliance with the humans after everything that happened. Fenris nodded. Zara understood that the only way to heal the wounds of the past was to build a better future together, a symbol of hope. Zara and Perry's partnership became a symbol of hope for the entire galaxy. Their wedding was a legendary event, broadcast across every world. It wasn't just a union of two hearts, but a symbol of a new era, a new hope for all species. Fenris raised his glass. To the humans, may we never again make the mistake of underestimating them. Zayak clinked his glass against Fenris, a newfound respect for the species that had once been his enemy coursing through him. The galaxy had changed, and with Zora and Perry leading the way, there was hope for a brighter future. The Galactic Council, building a new future. With Zara and Perry at the helm, a new Galactic Council was formed. Representatives from every major species were given a seat at the table, ensuring that no one species could wield unchecked power. The humans and the Vuxari served as co-chairs, symbolizing the new era of unity and cooperation. The council faced many challenges, but with Zora's compassion and Perry's determination, they persevered. Together, they worked tirelessly to create laws that protected the rights of all sentient beings, fostering an era of peace and prosperity. Zayak leaned forward. And Perry, what happened to him? Fenris smiled. He became a legend, a hero to both Vuxari and humans. They say he was offered a high position in the new government, but he turned it down. Said he was a soldier, not a politician. Instead, he dedicated his life to hunting down the last remnants of the Emperor's regime, bringing them to justice. A new era. Caleb Perry's legacy. Caleb Perry's legacy lived on, not just in the laws and systems he helped create, but in the hearts and minds of those who had been touched by his bravery. He became a legend, a hero to both Vuxari and humans alike. Zayak leaned forward. And Perry, what happened to him? Fenris smiled. He became a legend, a hero to both Vuxari and humans. They say he was offered a high position in the new government, but he turned it down. Said he was a soldier, not a politician. Instead, he dedicated his life to hunting down the last remnants of the Emperor's regime, bringing them to justice. A new era. As the galaxy moved forward, the story of Caleb Perry and Zara became a beacon of hope. It was a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there were those who would stand up for what was right. Heroes not just in name, but in deed. Fenris raised his glass. To the humans, may we never again make the mistake of underestimating them. Zayak nodded, a newfound appreciation for the species that had once been his enemy coursing through him. Together, they would build a new future, a future of peace, understanding, and unity. Challenges and triumphs. The Council's struggles. The formation of the Galactic Council was just the beginning. The road ahead was fraught with challenges. There were many who resisted the new order, clinging to the old ways of power and domination. But Zara and Perry, with their unwavering resolve, faced these challenges head-on. The Council's first major test came when a faction of former Imperial loyalists attempted to overthrow the new government. They believed that the galaxy was better off under the Emperor's rule and sought to restore the old regime. The Loyalists launched a series of attacks on council members and key installations, hoping to destabilize the new order. Zara and Perry responded swiftly. They mobilized the combined forces of the humans and the Vuxari, launching a coordinated counteroffensive. The Loyalists were well armed and determined, but they underestimated the resolve of the new government. The battles were fierce, but in the end, the Loyalists were defeated. Fenris recounted the events to Zayak. The Loyalists thought they could turn back the clock, but they were wrong. Zara and Perry were ready for them. Zayak nodded. It's incredible how quickly things have changed. Just a few years ago, the Emperor's rule seemed unshakable. Fenris smiled. That's the power of unity. When people come together for a common cause, they can achieve the impossible. Rebuilding and healing. With the Loyalists defeated, the Council turned its attention to rebuilding and healing. The scars of the old regime ran deep, and it would take time to mend the wounds. Zara and Perry led the efforts, traveling to different worlds, listening to the grievances of the people, and working to address their needs. They implemented programs to rebuild infrastructure, provide medical care, and create jobs. They also established truth and reconciliation commissions to address the atrocities committed during the emperor's rule. These commissions provided a platform for victims to share their stories and seek justice. Zara's compassion and Perry's determination earned them the respect and admiration of the people. Their efforts were not without challenges, but they persevered, driven by the belief that a better future was possible. Personal sacrifices. The weight of leadership. Leading the new Galactic Council took a toll on Zoran and Perry. The responsibilities were immense, and the challenges seemed never-ending. They often found themselves working long hours, sacrificing personal time for the greater good. Zara, in particular, struggled with the weight of her father's legacy. She was determined to undo the damage he had caused and to build a better future, but the burden was heavy. Perry stood by her side, offering support and encouragement, but he too was burdened by the memories of his sister's death. In quiet moments, they found solace in each other. Their bond, forged in the fires of rebellion, was unbreakable. They leaned on each other, drawing strength from their shared experiences and their love for one another. Zayak watched them from afar, amazed by their resilience. "They've sacrificed so much for the galaxy," he said to Fenris. "I don't know how they do it." Fenris nodded. "They're driven by a sense of duty. They believe in what they're doing, and that belief gives them the strength to keep going." Unexpected allies. A new threat. Just as the galaxy seemed to be stabilizing, a new threat emerged. An ancient alien race, long thought extinct, reappeared. The Zorgans were a powerful and technologically advanced species with a history of conquest and destruction. They had been in hiding, biding their time, and now they sought to reclaim their place in the galaxy. The Zorgans launched a series of devastating attacks on key worlds, targeting both human and Vuxari territories. Their weapons were unlike anything the galaxy had seen before, capable of massive destruction. The Galactic Council was caught off guard, struggling to mount a defense. Zara and Perry knew that they couldn't face this new threat alone. They reached out to other species, seeking allies in the fight against the Zorgans. The response was mixed. Some species were eager to join the fight, while others were hesitant, fearing the power of the Zorgans. An unlikely alliance. In their search for allies, Zara and Perry encountered an unlikely candidate. The Xalorians, a species known for their isolationist policies, offered their assistance. The Xalorians had advanced technology and a deep understanding of the Zorgans, having faced them in the past. Zara and Perry traveled to the Xalorian homeworld, hoping to secure their support. The Xalorian leader, High Chancellor Vora, greeted them with cautious optimism. "We have heard of your efforts to build a better galaxy," Vora said. "We respect your determination and your willingness to seek peace. The Zorgans are a threat to us all, and we believe that by working together, we can defeat them." Zara nodded. "We are grateful for your support. Together, we can protect our worlds and ensure a future of peace and prosperity." The alliance with the Xalorians proved to be a turning point in the war against the Zorgans. With their combined forces, the Galactic Council launched a coordinated counteroffensive, striking at the heart of the Zorgan fleet. The final battle. Preparing for war. The final battle against the Zorgans loomed on the horizon. The Galactic Council and their allies prepared for the confrontation, knowing that the outcome would determine the future of the galaxy. Zara and Perry took charge of the preparations, coordinating with the various species and ensuring that their forces were ready. The Xalorians provided invaluable intelligence, allowing them to develop a strategy to exploit the Zorgans' weaknesses. In the days leading up to the battle, tensions ran high. The fate of the galaxy hung in the balance, and everyone knew that the stakes couldn't be higher. The battle begins. The Galactic Council's fleet, bolstered by their allies, engaged the Zorgan forces in a massive space battle. The sky was filled with the glow of energy weapons, and the explosions of destroyed ships. The Zorgans fought with a ferocity born of desperation, but the combined forces of the Council were relentless. Caleb Perry led the charge, his tactical brilliance and sheer determination driving the fleet forward. Zara, commanding from the Council's flagship, coordinated the efforts of their allies, ensuring that every move was executed with precision. The battle raged for hours, neither side willing to give an inch. But slowly, the tide began to turn in favor of the Galactic Council. The Zorgans, despite their advanced technology, were outmatched by the unity and determination of the Allied forces. The turning point. The turning point came when the Solarians managed to disable the Zorgan flagship's main weapon systems. With their primary means of attack neutralized, the Zorgans' morale began to falter. Perry seized the opportunity, leading a daring assault on the flagship. He and his team boarded the ship, fighting their way through the Zorgan defenders to reach the bridge. The Zorgan leader, General Zoran, confronted Perry in a final desperate stand. The battle between Perry and Zoran was fierce, both warriors driven by a determination to protect their people. In the end, Perry emerged victorious, striking down Zoran and securing the flagship. With their leader defeated and their flagship captured, the remaining Zorgan forces surrendered. The war was over. A new dawn. Celebrating victory. The victory over the Zorgans was celebrated across the galaxy. The Galactic Council and their allies had proven that unity and cooperation could overcome even the greatest of threats. Zara and Perry were hailed as heroes, their leadership and bravery inspiring countless beings. In the seedy tavern where their journey had been recounted, Fenris and Zayak raised their glasses in a toast. To Zara and Perry, Fenris said, "To unity and to a better future." Zayak nodded, a sense of pride swelling in his chest. To the humans and to all those who fight for what's right. Rebuilding the galaxy. With the war over, the Galactic Council turned its attention to rebuilding. The devastation wrought by the Zorgans had left many worlds in ruins, and there was much work to be done. Zara and Perry led the efforts, traveling from planet to planet, offering assistance and support. They established new programs to rebuild infrastructure, provide medical care, and create jobs. They also worked to strengthen the bonds between the various species, ensuring that the alliances forged during the war would endure. The scars of the past would take time to heal, but with Zara and Perry at the helm, the galaxy was on a path to recovery. They were determined to build a future where all beings could live in peace and prosperity. Personal challenges. The burden of leadership. Despite their success, Zara and Perry faced personal challenges. The weight of leadership was heavy, and the responsibilities often seemed overwhelming. They found solace in each other, but the demands of their roles left little time for themselves. Zara struggled with the legacy of her father. She was determined to be a different kind of leader, but the shadow of his actions loomed large. Perry, too, was haunted by the memories of his sister's death and the countless lives lost in the fight for justice. In quiet moments, they reflected on their journey. They had come so far, but there was still much to be done. They leaned on each other for support, drawing strength from their love and their shared commitment to a better future. Zayak watched them from afar, amazed by their resilience. "They've sacrificed so much for the galaxy," he said to Fenris. "I don't know how they do it." Fenris nodded. "They're driven by a sense of duty. They believe in what they're doing, and that belief gives them the strength to keep going." New alliances, expanding the council. With the galaxy stabilizing, Zara and Perry sought to expand the Galactic Council, bringing more species into the fold. They believed that a truly united galaxy required the participation of all its inhabitants. They traveled to distant worlds, meeting with leaders and representatives, sharing their vision of a united galaxy. Some were skeptical, others were eager to join. But Zara and Perry's determination and sincerity won many over. The council grew, with new members bringing fresh perspectives and ideas. The diversity of voices enriched the discussions and decision-making processes, making the council stronger and more representative of the galaxy's inhabitants. Zayak marveled at the progress. It's incredible to see so many different species working together. Fenris smiled. It's the beginning of a new era, one where everyone has a say and no one is left behind. Legacy of Hope. Inspiring future generations, the story of Zara and Perry became a beacon of hope for future generations. Their journey from rebellion to leadership, their fight for justice and unity, inspired countless beings across the galaxy. Schools taught their story, highlighting the importance of courage, compassion, and cooperation. Young beings aspired to be like Zara and Perry, to make a difference in their own communities and to fight for what was right. Zara and Perry continued to lead by example, demonstrating that true leadership was about service and dedication to the greater good. They remained humble, always putting the needs of others before their own. Fenris raised his glass in a final toast. To Zara and Perry, and to the future they've built. May their legacy inspire us all. Zayak clinked his glass against Fenris's, a sense of pride and hope filling his heart. The galaxy had changed, and with Zora and Perry leading the way, there was no limit to what they could achieve. A galaxy united. The fruits of unity. Years passed, and the galaxy continued to thrive under the leadership of the Galactic Council. The alliances forged during the war against the Zorgans grew stronger, and the bonds between species deepened. Trade flourished, scientific advancements were made, and cultural exchanges enriched the lives of all beings. The galaxy was no longer a collection of isolated worlds, but a united community working together for the common good. Zara and Perry watched with pride as their vision of a united galaxy became a reality. They knew that there would always be challenges, but they were confident that the bonds they had built would endure. A personal moment. In a rare moment of respite, Zara and Perry found themselves alone on a balcony, overlooking the bustling city below. The stars shone brightly in the sky, a reminder of the vastness of the galaxy they had worked so hard to unite. Zara leaned against Perry, her head resting on his shoulder. "We've come so far," she said softly. "But there's still so much to do." Perry nodded, wrapping his arm around her. "We'll face it together, just like we always have." They stood in silence, taking in the beauty of the night and the sense of accomplishment that filled the air. They knew that their journey was far from over, but they were ready for whatever challenges lay ahead. Continuing the mission. A new generation of leaders. As Zara and Perry looked to the future, they began to prepare the next generation of leaders. They mentored young beings from across the galaxy, sharing their knowledge and experiences, and instilling in them the values of compassion, courage, and cooperation. The young leaders, inspired by Zora and Perry's example, were eager to take up the mantle. They brought fresh ideas and perspectives, ready to build on the foundation that had been laid. Zara and Perry knew that their time as leaders would eventually come to an end, but they took comfort in knowing that the future was in good hands.